Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is looking at the evidence to suggest whether the West Park Hotel in Clydebank, just outside Glasgow, is the newest immigrant hotel in Glasgow area or not, as the case may be. So what's the reason for this in this video and this recent concern that some locals have for what may or may not be used, this hotel may or may not be used for? So yesterday and the day before, these sort of things started showing up on social media, where there was a photograph of one bus outside the West Park Hotel on Great Western Road in Clydebank, just outside the Glasgow city boundary, as you go towards the lovely part of the world called Loch Lomond. And as you can see here, West Park telling everyone it's closed for renovation as they've just moved a busload of immigrants in. Okay. Now that story, there was some slightly different versions of that story. Some claiming there was two buses. In fact, the majority were claiming there was two buses of migrants taken to the hotel. And some people were concerned. So later on, this appeared on a local Facebook page. And this, although it's an anonymous participant, they are suggesting that they know insider information about the West Park Hotel. Hi, I would just like to say I'm absolutely appalled and disgusted by the rumours being spread about our hotel, suggesting that they have something to do with it, i.e. that it is hosting immigrants when it is not. That is tourists from India. Not everyone from another country is an immigrant. The people in that bus tour Scotland with their families for a week and go home. I do not appreciate the lies or the staff in a hotel having both their safety and jobs put at risk. People having the audacity to come up your place of work and take pictures of guests and then to post with a lot of lies about immigration. Our bar is back open and all are welcome to come and see our hotel houses tourists and regulars as it always has. Also, all the staff didn't leave, a select group of them did. They chose to do so. Thank you. Now, that was apparently on a Facebook page called Call Yourself a Banky. So I went on to that this morning and I can't see this post. So I don't know if it was just part of another post that I can't find or it's been deleted and I don't know. So what did I do? Well, last night I was not far. I was about 3 miles away from the area, around about sort of between 9 and 10. So let me just get the right one. I took a wee drive up. Is that the one? Oh, that's the end of the video. There you go. I took a wee drive up there. And as you can see, that's Great Western Road. Coming back into the city, you need to drive past it to turn round at the crematorium and come back. And I went in, looked as if there was nobody there. There was no cars. I couldn't see a single car to suggest that there was staff working there. But now staff might not need cars. They might use public transport, but it's an awkward place to get to with public transport. But certainly, I'll just fast forward this a wee bit. You'll see there's no cars. And I hung about a wee bit, had a wee look about, didn't look as if there's any life, even the bar open, which is just past there. But this car coming through the car park, that had two people in it. And to be fair, although it says in the sign that there's no through road, you can actually drive through that and get out to a little sort of cul-de-sac at the other side. So they may just have been coming in to use it as a through road. I'm just going to fast forward a wee bit and I buggered off. So that was last night. One thing that is peculiar, this photograph that I'm using as a backdrop, that's a photograph to the website and it doesn't look like that now. The flags are down, see all this advertising for stuff like lunches and stuff, all that's down. Okay, so the backdrop photograph is not today, just for complete clarity. All right, so I went home, went back to my partner's house last night and I thought, do you know what? These people might be right. And what could happen is you could have a lot of people potentially upset. It could lead to protests and the stuff that we've seen in migrant hotels in the past. And if they are genuine, that there was no migrants coming into this hotel, then that might be a bit unfortunate. and they might get some attention that they're not due. And as the person in this anonymous post said, that wouldn't be fair. So what I decided to do today was go back up to the hotel. And I think it's this one. Yeah, I went back up to the hotel today, and as you can see, there was no cars again. I'm just going to stop that a wee second. You'll see down right at the end of the car park there's a van, which is more an advert for a tyre place than anything else. That was there last night as well. I don't think that's got anything to do with the hotel. So I drove in, and the bar area was there, nobody there. I got out my car, and I made a bit of an arse of that, and I think that's me a bit done. I went into I've got a photograph of my feet there. I went into the reception. I didn't film it because I thought if there's people at their work, that's no nice. So I went up without filming it, and this reception of this hotel that's apparently not closed was dubbed up. I banged the door and I looked for ways of getting access, and there was none. But also, though, I'll admit, though, it didn't look as if there was a busload or two, as some people are suggesting, of migrants in the place. Because although I felt there was people in it because windows were open and stuff, but nobody was coming to the front door, I couldn't really see any activity. So then, before I left, I got back in my car and then here, just get my engine sorted and stuff. And I drove around. Now, that entrance on the left, that's apparently where the bar is. There was no signs of life there either. Don't have that on the camera, but I did have a wee look to my left. There's the van that I was talking about earlier. I then drove down here to the left to see if there was any sign of any staff or anybody here. There was a sign you might not see here, says staff only, do not enter, so I didn't want to be breaking any laws. It's there. There was no signs there of any staff, which would imagine if you're opened is normal for even just the bar area, and this was no long before lunchtime, you would think there would be signs of some staff. So I'm dubious to the claim that this hotel is still open for bars. And then I came out. I think I went to the right here. I thought there was another road to the back down to the right, but it turns out it's just the way the car park's situated, so there's no road to the back that, there could be cars hidden, or a staff car park or anything. And I went to turn right and I went, oh, there's no road there. And that was kind of it. So there was absolutely zero signs of these staff that they claim that the bar's still open, and that would be easy to thing there. Not. Now, what I was planning to do, a friend and I phoned them the night before and said, well, I'm trying to book a room. Can I book a room? No, we're closed for some refurbishment, something about doors or something that they were replacing throughout the place. And he went, all right. He says, well, I heard there was a couple of busloads of people turned up today. How could they get into your hotel if it's closed? And the phone gets smashed down on him. So what I thought I would do today, and the reason for my second visit, I was going to offer to do a podcast in the hotel saying, look, there's guests here. They're not migrants, they're tourists, whatever. Even give the management an opportunity to explain what was going on. But I couldn't do that either. So on the way home, I was talking to someone down south, a friend who spoke about something else, and he asked what I was doing today. And I told him. So he phoned up, as per someone who's in the media down south, and asked and explained, look, there's a story brewing that people think that this is a migrant hotel, but you've put out that it's not. We would like to, as a mainstream media outlet, we would like to come and do the story to tell the story of this being inaccurate and help convince people that you're not a migrant hotel. And he was told, we're not interested, and the phone went down. Both thinking that's a bit peculiar. If you had these claims that you were a migrant hotel when you're not, you would probably want to dispel them and take any offers of help to dispel them. You could, and that didn't happen. So that got me a little bit more inquisitive. So what I done next was I went on to Land Registry of Scotland and I paid for the land registry registration for that particular place. And as you can see, it's highlighted in red what is actually in the control of this land registry. And anyone local area will know that is the West Park Hotel. And then I found this, which tells you it was changed, change of ownership in June 2025, which is last month, for the price of £2 under £600,000, and the proprietor, Angel Tours and Travels Limited, who are registered office of 74 Mount Pleasant Way, Wembley, which doesn't seem to be an office, that appears to be a private address. So then I thought, well, who are these people? And I'm just going to screen share this with you. Remove that one first. Give me a wee sec. Remove that one. Add that one. So what we're looking at now is this is live. This is on, as you'll see here. I'll scroll up and down. This is Company's House information, which is freely available. We don't need to pay like that for that, like I did for the land registry stuff. And you'll see the same company who now own the building, Angel Tours and Travels Limited, who have one registered director, Yatin Graveshmuir Kumar Biami, and he was appointed when the company was formed in April 2010, as was this woman, Barbara, who was appointed in and out in a day, which is normal when people are setting up companies. They have somebody set up the company for them, and they're not really a director, but they have to register for like a day or two. That's quite normal. I thought, well, that's quite a good thing. So this business that own it, I ran from a guy's house, and he is a coach driver, which would tie in with people coming up in buses and using benefits hotel. But you would think if that was true, they would try and stay in his hotel for maybe more than a night and just centralise their tours from there. But there's no signs of them being there today anyway. And I thought, well, what sort of business is this? So I looked at their filing history, and you've got micro accounts, which is quite normal. But they had this thing on their accounts where I thought, oh, that's quite good. So for you'll see down here as well, average number of employees, 2. So the 2 employees, one I'd imagine the bus driver, and maybe someone doing office work. So for this company that's run by a bus driver, they've got current assets of £1.4 million. And that was before they bought this hotel in 2025, because your accounts are generally a year behind. So a substantial business for someone with it's a bus driver. Sorry, I didn't actually show you that. I'm just going to show you. Sorry, that didn't swap over. So there's the abbreviated accounts there for a micro company, and there's your net assets on this line here. Current assets up here, 1.4 million quid, couple of pound owed out, net assets and reserves, 1.3 million quid, right? So that isn't bad. So back to the first page. So that's them, and if I go to people, we'll see Mr. Bimani, and he's also a director of a dissolved company called SMAD Developments, which he was appointed in 2020, and they dissolved in 2022. So not too much about them. And the other business was Smart Developers. See that? So you had SMAD Development and Smart Developers, which he was appointed a few days apart. And let's have a wee look. They too are dissolved, but they were dissolved just a few months earlier in their development of building projects. So he's dabbled in building projects. He's also dabbled in bus driving, and now he owns a £600,000 hotel just outside Glasgow. So what is the truth? Well, the truth is, I'm unsure. But the other weird thing is the claims that there was 2 buses. The hotel, according to sources, is a 21-bedroom hotel, which would suggest it would have a capacity of about 40 people. So you wouldn't need 2 buses to get to that hotel, even if you filled it to the girdles. Also, the claims that it's still open to the public for bar and stuff, and folk are welcome. You're welcome, they say, and just to confirm that, they say in this that you're welcome to come and see a hotel houses tourists as regulars as it always has. But But that's until you actually go up and try and do that when you're faced with a locked door and banging the door doesn't get you anywhere. And when you phone them up, they either hang up on you when you ask them any questions, or they say they're not interested in anybody from the media putting out the story that they are not a migrant hotel. So that's a bit weird. However, it might be true. So what I would say to the West Park Hotel is genuine 100%. If you'd just answered your door today, I would have been quite happy to talk to you, put it on camera, you state your facts that you're not an immigrant hotel, and I would put that out to my near 80,000 subscribers. That would have been no problem whatsoever, and I am still happy to do so. If you want to set the record straight, put some comments below. I've got your phone number. And by the way, the guy from England that phoned you, he then phoned you back with another proposition, and you blocked his number. So this is a little bit strange. But what I will say is the offer's there. I've got no problem returning to your property and allow you to talk to hundreds of thousands of people that some of my videos reach and tell them the truth about your hotel. I am normally 3 or 4 days a week, less than 4 miles away from your door. So I'm always in the vicinity. It's not a problem popping up for a half hour and allowing you the common courtesy of setting the record straight. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, stick some comments below and hit the share button. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notifications bell. However, most important of all, unless you're the type of person who possibly does have a migrant hotel or plans to do it, and by the way, you can't book your hotel, and even next year, go online, take the challenge. West Park Hotel, Clydebank, try and book a room. Can't do it. Try phoning them. That would be good, and see if they hang up on you or block your number. But unless you're that type of person, everyone else, have a great day. Cheery bye now.